to our first pitch here at Busch Stadium. With Brad Thompson, Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. It's a San Francisco type day. Chamber of Commerce type day here in the Midwest. 75 degrees. It is gorgeous as we get set for baseball.
Well, the people are feeling it. You mentioned the energy, and it certainly is here. October baseball is right around the corner, and the Cardinals have been taking care of business, and Miles Mikolas has been fantastic all year. You see the pitch arsenal there. He uses all of them. The changeup sparingly, throws everything for strikes and attacks, and that'll be the case again here today.
Here's Gregor Blanco, and the first pitch is strike, and we are underway on this Sunday afternoon here in St. Louis. The Cardinals have not swept the Giants in a 3- or 4-game series since September of 1995. Little ground ball that's rolled up the first base line. Steps on the bag for the out. That's Carpenter, and the first man retired. The Giants lineup with Blanco, Panic, and Longoria. Then Crawford, Hundley, and Shaw. Hansen, he's had a good series. He's at second base. Garcia and Suarez. Giants also have not swept the Cardinals since 2001. So you get the idea. This has been a back and forth series between these two teams. A strike to Joe Panic. Bruce Bochy, he's headed to the Hall of Fame, the outstanding manager of the Giants. Also one of the biggest heads in sports. Couple of hops hit to Munoz. And there's 2 away as my partner's giggling.
He's quite intelligent. There is no way around that.
He literally has a enormous
it's a large
head.
cranium. Yes, it is.
Ozuna, Bader, Martinez in the outfield. Along the infield, Jerko, DeYoung, Munoz, Carpenter, and Yadier Molina. That dramatic late home run. He's behind the plate. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. It brings in Evan Longoria. Again, first pitch strike.
That is a key for Miles Mikolas, and it's not rocket science. Getting ahead is important, but he does it as well as anybody, and he can do it with all of his pitches.
That's pulled foul. 30 starts, 29 walks. That is an amazing run of consistency.
How does that happen? I mean, that's unreal. He pounds his zone. He's relentless. He never gives in. Once again, being able to throw the strikes with all of his pitches is huge. But you don't give up free passes. You don't give other teams opportunities. Well, you're in charge. He's been in charge all year.
Mikolas, first pitch strikes 70.2% of the time coming into this start. He got him in a strikeout of Longoria. What a way to start. 1, 2, 3 go the Giants on 8 pitches. And the Cardinals coming up in the home half of the first. We're in the bottom of the first here in St. Louis. And there's no score. There's the Cardinal leadoff man, Matt Carpenter, followed by Jose Martinez. And Paul DeYoung here in the first. Then Ozuna, Jerko, Molina, Bader, Munoz, and Mikolas. The Cardinals getting Andrew Suarez. Monday against the Padres, he went 7 2/3 and only 4 hits. He was very good.
He was very, very good. Makes his 28th start today, and you look at him, his stuff isn't overpowering, but he throws strikes. And just like we were talking about with Miles Mikolas, you see the arsenal there. Throws his fastball half the time. Good slider, especially tough against lefties, and just a guy that competes. For a rookie, he really fills up the zone.
Made his major league debut April 11th, and as Brad mentioned, 27 starts for the Giants, number 28 today. Leads all rookies in the National League in innings pitched with 153. And the Cardinals did not face Andrew Suarez in the 4-game series in July. And the 2-0 pitch. Pulled foul, and it's 2-1. This is when you know you're late in a season and a day game, and the shadows are edging towards the Cardinal dugout. fall in the air, and the Cardinals in a pennant race. It does not get any better here in St. Louis. The 2-1 ripped to the shortstop Crawford, who is on the second base side of the bag with the shift. And let's turn to Brad Thompson's Toyota key to the game.
Well, this is pretty simple. Finish. So winning a series, and Mike Schilt talks about this all the time. You win the series, you're going to put yourself in a good place. Well, the series is won, but the job is not done. It's time to finish this, be able to sweep this series, put yourself in an even better position with 6 games down the stretch.
Jose Martinez grounding to third. Evan Longoria, the high throw, and safe at first. That'll be an error on Longoria.
Well, it takes his time to make the throw and doesn't make a great one here. Pulls him off the bag a little bit. An athletic move right there by Martinez.
The Giants are going to challenge here, and doing so here in the first inning. It's really, you know, if you're going to challenge early in a game, that means you feel pretty strongly about this decision, because if you miss, you're out.
Yeah, we just got one brief look at it, but it looks like he might have gotten him right there before he hit the bag. You don't want to put yourself at a disadvantage early on. I still do believe that there is a way, somehow, some way, to streamline this, the entire process of the replay. It doesn't rear its head too often. But a lot of times it takes a while.
I think that one may go against the Cardinals. The very athletic play at first by Garcia with the tag, and the ruling is out. Take the air off the board, 2 away, and it brings in Paul DeJong. And the defense for the Giants around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. It'll be Shaw, Blanco, and Hansen. Longoria, Crawford, Panic, Garcia along the infield, and Hundley behind the plate. Here's Paul DeJong, and the first pitch catches the outside corner for strike 1. DeJong batting .240 with 19 home runs, and he's driven in 63. That's tapped foul. All important series, and they're all important, but a major one begins tomorrow night here at Busch Stadium. Good seats still available. And the Brewers here in town. It'll be Jack Flaherty against Chase Anderson. Flaherty 8-8. Anderson now 9-8 on the season. Elevated fastball and a strikeout of Paul DeJong. 1 inning in the books. We head to inning number 2 here at Busch Stadium, and there's no score.
Out there shredding people. O'Neill's teammates basically ripped his clothes off. Tyler told me it was his mom's birthday and she was at the game. And Dan, as for the ripping off of O'Neill's clothes, Mike Schilt put it in perfect perspective. He told me, better Tyler than you, Jim. Great point.
He was also asked about it in the postgame yesterday with the assembled media as Carpenter flips to Miles Michaelis, and I'm paraphrasing the question, but something about his shirt being off, and Mike Schilt saying, I don't want to get too far into it because it could be an HR issue. So he didn't want to touch it. Smart move by Mike Schilt.
That did in fact escalate quickly after the game.
Here's Yadier Molina, who got the bucket. If you missed it, it's supposed to go to O'Neill, and it got Yadi.
I got a feeling that that appeared to be on purpose, and Yadi's reaction is classic.
And so is Jose Martinez.
Come on. Look, Yadi deserved one too for the 2-run bomb he hit earlier in the game. You don't get a chance to pay him off for that one, so you get it there.
And you have a little fun.
Oh man, this team is having a lot of fun right now. Just being around him this morning, the vibe in the clubhouse. You can tell everybody enjoys coming to work, and you know this very well. In September, there are a lot of teams that are not happy to be here. There are a lot of teams that are already planning their offseason. Not the case around here. This team is excited, and they've been a lot of fun to watch.
Giants playing out the string. It's their final road game of the season today. but a chance for them to come to the ballpark and play spoiler, which they've nearly done the first 2 games of the series. Here's a 2-1 pitch. The Atlanta Braves are in postseason now officially. 87-68 their record as they beat the Phillies, and Brian Snitker, who has been in that organization forever, a player, coach, manager, and now the big league skipper, takes the Atlanta Braves into the postseason.
That is a young, talented team. One that you knew was going to be good coming into the year, but it seemed like they arrived a little bit quicker than everybody else expected. And obviously in that division, all eyes were coming in on the Washington Nationals, and a disappointing year for them, to say the least, but impressive and fun to watch that Atlanta Braves team.
3-2 and a ground ball hit to Young. That's now 5 up and 5 down for Miles Michaelis. Looks sharp, doesn't he, Brad?
He really does. He's just pumping strikes, and that's the thing. Miles Michaelis, he can get his strikeouts when he gets to 2 strikes, but he's not hunting for strikeouts. He's trying to get deep into ball games. He's trying to get a lot of soft contact, and that is something that he gets. 13 strikes so far, only 4 balls, just pounding the zone, tons of ground balls, and you know that Mike Maddox has got to love that.
Chris Shaw, left-handed batter, the left fielder of the Giants. No score here early on, and the first pitch taken for a ball. A big crowd on a beautiful day here in St. Louis. We'd love to see this place packed tomorrow and Tuesday and Wednesday. It's popped up. Molina over and out of room. That may have gone right off the back of an individual down there in the second row.
It's all about knocking it down.
I guess that's his thinking. Put some hands on that back. Ouch. Looking behind him, and lucky that wasn't off his noggin.
Oftentimes, as a catcher, you know this. Yadi's had that ball a ton of times. You know it comes back. That's why you never give up on one. Generally, if you're sitting in those seats, you're probably not aware of that. The ball is spinning right back and was heat seeking. And he's got a nice little bruise to show everybody.
Well, to his credit, didn't flinch.
No, he wore it.
No big deal.
He's in good seats. What's he going to do? Leave? I think those are all inclusive.
Oh, you bet they are.
Yeah, not leaving those seats.
Second strikeout for Miles Michaelis. 6 up and 6 down. Ozuna, Jerko, Molina coming up, and there's no score. Here's Ozuna in the Cardinals half of the second inning. No score. And a ground ball that's hit to the third baseman Longoria. 1 pitch and 1 away. You get the feeling, and I understand it's early and we're 10 batters into the game, but these 2 guys have the ability to work quickly and get outs efficiently.
Well, and it makes you believe that every little thing is going to matter a lot. Now that play earlier was overturned, but I think we're going to see a lot of ground balls. Like, plays need to be made. The Cardinals kicked around a couple of baseballs yesterday, 4 errors in the game. The little things are going to mean a lot in a game that's moving quickly like this.
And a strike to Jed Jerko. Jerko hitting .272. Mike Schilt was on his radio program on KMOX with Mike Kelly, and Mike asked him about Jed Jerko, and he said he is a fly under the radar type player. Does a lot of things that fans don't see properly, and we appreciate the way he goes about his business. And a base hit out to left. And once again, congratulations to the voice of the Tigers, Mike Kelly, with his 300th consecutive football game behind the mic for the Missouri Tigers, one of the best in the country. 1 out base hit, and it brings in Yadier Molina. Big ovation coming.
You're up in a spot. He's the guy you want to have there.
Showing bunt and looks at his strike. Now 19 home runs hit by Molina. Only 2 of those have been hit at Busch Stadium. That is shocking to me.
It really is. And overall, I mean, this ballpark has held the ball in, and it's always been looked at as kind of a pitcher's park, but it's remarkable the numbers the Cardinals have power-wise on the road as opposed to home.
Base hit into right. Jerko a little hesitant going to second base to make sure that would get down, and so the Cardinals have runners at first and second, and Bader coming up.
Well, as good as anybody in baseball, I would say, Yadier Molina is of going where the ball is pitched. This thing stays away from him, off the plate by quite a bit, and just battles, pokes it out that way, and all of a sudden the Cardinals got something going again.
Here's Harrison Bader. And a key hit late in the ball game on Friday. Boy, you love Bader against a lefty, and I'm not sure you really care who it is. Left-handed pitching, he is going to have some success. Average at 268, 12 home runs, and he's driven in 36. Here's a 1-0. A ball and a strike. The splits against the lefties, 303 the average.
One of the toughest things for Bader is that right-hander, that breaking ball going away from him. Quite obviously that eliminates that. I mean, a good changeup would have similar action, but he picks up the ball well coming out of their hands. He'll foul stuff off versus lefties. And honestly, he's been taking way better at bats against righties, even the ones with that tough slider.
Made a little bit of an adjustment there in the second half. The 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Munoz at the on deck circle. Cardinals still without the services, at least for the moment, of Colton Wong. Jim Hayes will have an update on Wong's status later in the ball game. We may see him today, but just not right now. Way out in front on that 2-1 pitch. Now 2-2. Two on, 1 out. A count of 2 balls and 2 strikes on the Cardinals center fielder Harrison Bader. Fouled back in a good rip.
Well, you'd love to see this here. You got a couple of runners on. Suarez throwing the ball well, being very efficient. Love to be able to take advantage of this opportunity while it's here. That fastball up in the zone. We've seen Bader drive a few of those this year.
The 2-2 pitch. Popped up and out of play. We had a nice visit with John Miller before the game.
He stopped in. He's heard of your work. Now, you guys have been doing this for a while, but he came in just specifically to reference some work you've done here recently. Maybe utilizing, I don't know, likeness, maybe?
The imitation.
Yes, that would be it. He did want to talk about that a little.
He did, and he
favorably
gave me a fist bump.
Yes.
Because his kids approved of it. And I said, thank you. I appreciate that. We're in a pennant race. It's beautiful. There he is. What's that behind him? We love Pence. But it was great to visit with John Miller.
Yeah,
and he remembered your appearance at the 06 World Series
sure
fondly.
Yeah, like it was yesterday.
Dan, who is that?
Yeah, that was basically how that went.
Well, that's Brad Thompson. Oh, okay. But he told me that he had it on a link on his phone, and his kids approved of it, and he gave me a fist bump because of it. Now, that's a Hall of Famer there.
Do you think that was overall just to tell you how good of how good you are,
or to watch myself?
Yeah. Well, do you think it was a little bit of both, maybe?
A little bit of both.
So you know what? You're great at that. That's fun. Let's keep it there.
Yeah, exactly.
That could be it.
A strikeout of Bader. John Miller, one of the tremendous voices ever in the game of baseball, makes it so entertaining and so much fun to listen to. So 2 outs, and Munoz with the pitcher on deck, Michaelis. Outfield deep, straight away. And a check swing and a strike on Munoz.
We've seen Suarez so far with the righties. He tries to use that breaking ball away, tries to get a strike, whether it be a swing or a backdoor with it, and then likes to use that fastball in later in the counts. But he does have a tendency to miss over the plate with it.
And the 0-1 pitch now to Jairo Munoz. Base hit into left. Jerko, he'll score, and it's 1-0 Cardinals on a 2-out single by Munoz. Two strikes, 2 outs, a rookie, and boy, he does the job.
Yes, he certainly does. 2-out RBIs have been coming around these parts here, and you see a little slider here, just ends up hanging around the middle of the plate. Munoz does a great job of just staying with it, driving right here in the hole. And the Cardinals get that lead. Hopefully they're able to add to it. That was big time right there by Jairo Munoz.
Runners at first and second for Michaelis. Puts it in play. A little slow roller. Suarez gloves it, and a race to the bag. Jairo Munoz, a 2-out single to left to bring in Jerko. 1-0 after 2. Cardinals get a 2-out single to left from Munoz to bring in Jed Jerko. 1-0 our score. I was thinking about this prior to the start for Michaelis, where he might be with a week to go in terms of the Cy Young Award. Now he's going to get some recognition, but maybe more so than what the national media is taking a look at, which is Jacob deGrom, 9-9, 1.77 ERA. Scherzer 17-7, leads the league in wins, innings pitched, strikeouts, opponent's batting average. He would be my favorite to win it at this point. Aaron Nola of the Phillies, he's 16-5. And Michaelis, a chance to win today, which would take him to 17-4. And depending on how the week shapes up, you could have Michaelis make another start that would take him to 18-4. You never know.
It's pretty impressive, the year that he's having, and to be in that conversation.
The other part of it too, Brad, is that game like today's must win. His next start, if the Cardinals need a win, must win, obviously. And of the guys that we're talking about, Scherzer, deGrom, Nola, Kyle Freeland of the Rockies might be in that conversation as well. Michaelis is the one that's going to postseason play.
Well, I really do believe that should be a factor, is what these games mean down the stretch. I know it's easy to look on paper and just look at overall numbers, but you kind of got to dig in a little bit more and see what, first of all, who you're pitching against, what it means. And he's had some huge games already this season. He'll have another big one down the stretch here for sure.
But my point being is that I would hope those that follow this, vote on it, take a real hard look at Michaelis in his year. He's also been terrific away from home. It's been one of the best, if not the best, away from his home ballpark this year. He has not lost a road game this season. There's a fly ball lifted into deep right center. Bader shading from the sun to make the catch. The year that Jacob deGrom has been incredible. 4th lowest run support in the National League. 9-9, the record. And if not for his win total, I would think a heavy favorite, even though some don't even look at wins all that much as importance anymore. You look more at ERA and some of the other variables that are there.
To me, it is amazing that he's able to continue to do that. You know, the run support that you're getting. At some point you think that it would kind of mentally beat you down, that you're going out there and just giving everything and not seeing much in return as far as W's go. But he has not done that. He has been relentless all year long.
DeGrom, by the way, a major league record, not just this year, but a record all time. 23 straight quality starts for Jacob DeGrom. That's incredible.
Well, it was a season for them that was derailed by injury. They started out hot too, the Mets did. They looked really good.
Hottest team in baseball.
Yeah, obviously he has looked good all year long, but things fell apart quickly for the Mets, and the one thing that hasn't fallen apart is DeGrom.
His wins above replacement, by the way, his WAR is 8.3. That's impressive in itself. From a pitcher's perspective, you know you've got bullpen issues and you're not getting run support. You also think about, for him personally, going into every start saying, I've got to be perfect.
Yeah.
Here's a 1-2. That's hit down the right field line, slicing foul and out of play. Aramis Garcia, the first baseman, 8th place hitter for the Giants. He had 4 hits yesterday. He's trying to make the most of this late season call up, hitting .368 through 12 major league games, and he's getting time at both catcher and first base. Buster Posey done for the year.
Well, that's this time of year you've got teams fighting for different things. Quite obviously the Cardinals are fighting for a playoff spot, an opportunity to make a deep run into October. For the Giants, you've got a bunch of individuals fighting for their futures, their opportunities. And in the big leagues, some guys get more opportunities than others, but when you get one, you've got to be able to cash in on it. And the Giants have a lot of young guys, as do the Cardinals, that are looking at these opportunities, trying to make something happen.
3rd strikeout for Michaelis. That'll bring in the pitcher, Andrew Suarez, hitting .065. That's Pudge Rodriguez's son, who made the start yesterday, and boy was he good. And he's a guy that they feel they can build around going into next year.
Yeah, he's had a really good season, and that's something that the Giants really need, is first of all just young pitching, and he is one of them. Suarez on the mound today for the Giants. He's been very good for them, because it was, for the longest time, you knew who they were rolling out there. You had Lincecum, you had Kane, and they were able to build behind that. They're trying to build something new, and Derek Rodriguez is going to have a part of that.
0-2 the count, and Michaelis strikes out Suarez. Doesn't even run. The tag applied. First time through the lineup. No hits, 4 strikeouts for Miles Michaelis. He looks good. Coming up, the top of the lineup, Carpenter, Martinez, and DeYoung. 1-0 here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Vision home games in St. Louis on sale now. Get yours, Cardinals.com/postseason. Carpenter, Martinez, and DeYoung for the Cardinals coming up. 1-0 after a 2-out single to left field by Jairo Munoz to bring in Jed Jerko. It's so interesting what could happen here in this final week. The Cardinals a game and a half in front of Colorado. They'll finish up their series with Arizona later today. St. Louis only 2 back of Milwaukee with 3 to play against them. 4.5 behind Chicago with 3 left with them.
You just never know.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of this, and we've seen some amazing things down the stretch from the Cardinals in the past. Sitting right now, season ends, they're in the wild card game. They'd be playing in Milwaukee, but a lot of things can change before then. And this guy right here up to bat can have a lot to do with how things shake out. We've seen Matt Carpenter go on a almost Ruthian tear throughout this year. You know that's still in there. Snapped an 0 for 17 on Friday. Like to see him get back to feeling really good at the plate.
He lined out to Crawford into the shift first time up. And he's 0 for 1. After seeing that shot from our director Tom Mee, you get the idea. All kinds of room on the left side of the infield, big gap in left center. The shift on day after day, pitch after pitch for Matt Carpenter.
Fortunately for Matt, he's really good at doubles and home runs, which are tough to shift.
40 doubles, 35 home runs.
Not too many people in that club.
Only 2. The 2-2 pitch to Carpenter. Chicago, the Cubs with a 4-0 lead over the White Sox. Milwaukee 7-0 their lead over Pittsburgh. That's in the bottom of the 4th. As Carpenter just got a piece. Kyle Freeland going for the Rockies today against Zach Gudley at Arizona.
Freeland has been very good.
That's pulled fair. Great play by Garcia. And Suarez to the bag, and that's 2 hard hit balls by Carpenter and nothing to show for it. Well, I guess this is why you shift. 2 times it's taken a hit away from Carpenter.
Yeah, he's hugging the line over there. Does make a very good play. Suarez does a great job of just getting over there. Tell you this though, with Matt Carpenter, as you said, he's no stranger to seeing the shift. If he's barreling the ball up, if his swing is right, the results will be there more often than not. But I think he had, coming into this series, 19 hits robbed via the shift. I mean, it's been quite effective against him, but he's still getting his.
It's now up to 21.
That's a lot.
Talking with him the other day, he thinks that the shift probably has taken away, in his opinion, 30 to 40 hits. And he understands why teams do it. Doesn't bother him. Part of the game. But you start thinking about 30 to 40 hits and what it does for your average. He's at 262 at the start of play. He's 285, 295, 300, that range. It's a big difference.
You just don't let yourself think of that. I think that's
right.
the way to go.
I had an interesting conversation with Mike Shannon before the game about the shift. And I said, you know, Mike, they did it against Ted Williams in the World Series. He said, I have the picture of it. He said, it's all part of the game. He said, we've been shifting forever. Martinez a drive into right center. Pretty well hit. And a ground rule double. The ball that just tailed away from Blanco. And a one-hopper over the wall and a one-out double.
Well, here we go again. Cardinals got something going, and Martinez gets a hanging breaking ball right down the middle and just crushes this thing into the right center gap. That thing coming off the bat does have that tail. Blanco chasing, not going to get to this one. And here we go.
And it brings in DeYoung with one out. And the first pitch is strike. Arcia drive to success. The Cardinals shortstop Paul DeYoung had a terrific series in Atlanta in his last 6 games. Couple of homers, 6 runs batted in, and he scored 5. The fastball taken high. 1 ball and 1 strike. In the last few years, this weekend is as loud as I can remember a St. Louis crowd for a regular season 2-3 game stretch.
They're hungry.
Oh, they are. Fouled back.
Not used to a couple of years without getting that taste of October baseball around here. You can feel it. Obviously, the team is feeling it too. They want to be there, not just be there, want to make a run in October, but the fans feel the same way.
A ball and 2 strikes on DeYoung. And the next to the Cardinals shortstop. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Third strikeout for Suarez. And the batter will be Ozuna. Ozuna grounded out to third, first time up. One to nothing our score. Munoz a single with 2 outs to bring in Jerko back in the second. And now 2 outs, runner in scoring position for Ozuna. And a ball taken a bit high.
We've seen Marcell Ozuna since coming off of the DL. Just looks more comfortable being able to get to the ball. Those mistakes that pitchers have been making, doing some damage on him. A little mistake hanging breaking ball, he could hurt.
Inside, 2 balls, no strikes. And the way he's swinging the bat, lefty on the mound, first base open, you know he's going to be careful in this count. The 2-0 pitch, 3-0. He's got the green light. Be selective.
1 pitch, 1 spot. If it ends up being there, unleash the fury. If not, the last thing you want to do is get cheated. 3-0.
And the next to Ozuna. He was swinging.
He didn't get cheated.
He's going with the white compression sleeve on the right arm and not the bright fluorescent green or yellow. Seems to match. 3-1. And he walked him. Runners at first and second for Jed Jerko. The first walk issued by Suarez. Let's see if the Cardinals can't have a little 2-out magic here. Happy birthday to Jed Jerko. He turns 30.
Could give himself a nice present.
You bet.
Just have a walk. Probably wants to throw a strike. Maybe center cut.
And ball 1. Jed Jerko. When healthy, he is produced, and the last 12 starts, they're dealing with that sore groin. 5 extra base hits, driven in 5, scored 10, and a .415 average. And the 1-0. Taken high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. If he gets a fastball here, we talk about it all season long. Nobody better maybe in the league at turning around a fastball. The 2-0 and a strike. Didn't like it. Spins away, and it's 2-1.
In that count right there, he's not looking for that. He's looking for something middle in that he can drive. Better to lay off of that one.
Outfield very deep, big gap in right center. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2-2. So he dropped into breaking ball. This guy's got good stuff.
He does. Well, he uses his stuff well. He nibbles on the corners. He'll throw that breaking ball backdoor, as you saw right there. He can spot up his fastball in to get you off of it. And now you're in protect mode on that 1 away.
Fouled away. 2-2.
We've seen a few already, though, here from Suarez where he's trying to go in. That was another one there. Ended up missing out over the plate. He's had some tough times getting in there to a guy like Jed Jerko. If you're trying to throw that fastball and you miss out over the plate, it could be a couple more runs.
Jerko hits it into the shift. Not often do you shift against a right-handed batter. The Giants did that, and Panic stepped on the bag. Cardinals strand a pair. It's 1-0 after 3. Ball without Jim Hayes. Jimmy, what do you got?
Well, Danny, Colton is not in the lineup today as he deals with hamstring tightness. Colton told me this: if I have to cut off my legs, I will. I'm going to be out there. Mike Schilt told me Colton is making progress, and there's a chance we could see Wong in some capacity today. I mentioned that to Colton just before game time, and he told me, you better believe it. Colton had cramps in both hamstrings Friday night. There was no sign of a strain. Colton told me at this point in the season, you can't wait it out. So, Dan, we could see Colton today possibly.
Well, certainly defensively, you love what he brings to the table, and that's no disrespect to any other player that takes that second base position. He's just at an elite level.
Oh, he's great. Now, I do believe if he were to cut off both of his legs that it would hurt his range a tad bit. I don't think he should do that. It's not advised. But I get where he's going with it. Guy wants to be out there.
That is why you are turning into a fabulous analyst.
I'm just trying to think about it. I mean, it would just limit him a little bit, is all.
There's a ground ball hit to second, and he's put away by second baseman Munoz.
I would say that ground ball hit directly to him would be about the only one a legless Wong would get to. You know, you gotta be able to use those things.
I get it.
Yeah.
Here's Joe Panic, grounded out to second. First time up. Michaelis is very sharp here today. And strike one. He's been ahead of the count primarily on every hitter. I can only remember 2 instances where he threw ball one.
You would think oftentimes too, looking at it as the opposition, it's like, all right, well, let's just swing. He's trying to steal a strike early. He throws quality strikes.
Yeah.
So if you do want to try to go out there and be really aggressive, a lot of times you're just going to give him a 1 pitch out. I mean, he's not just filling up the middle of the zone. He's filling up the corners. He's filling up the bottom of the strike zone.
And the top, too.
Yep.
I would say there's uncomfortable at bats as well because of that. He is one of the few guys I think about every 5th day. And I'm not just talking about the Cardinals. I mean in baseball in general, that throws inside on either side of the plate. And the 1-2 left center. Bader makes the catch. Anything in the air, he's got a chance.
Yeah, you just see Harrison Bader always getting a good jump. Got good instincts out there. I mean, he's shown a lot. That one routine, especially for him, but he makes things look quite easy out there in center field.
So 2 outs, nobody on. And it's popped up. Going out, Carpenter, called off by Munoz, and he dropped it. And it drops in, and I'm not sure he got a glove on it. Our vantage point couldn't tell, and Cardinals committed 4 errors in the ball game yesterday, and that's the first error today.
This thing up off the bat, it ends up tailing back on him a little bit. Munoz does call everybody off here, then ends up circling around, just missed it.
Yep, off the glove, so an error on the second baseman, Jairo Munoz, to bring in Crawford. And Longoria standing at first.
Fortunately for the Cardinals, if he's running hard, you know he's standing on second here.
Sure. Extends the inning to the cleanup man, Brandon Crawford. The residual effect of errors, the extra pitches late in a season, is what I think about with a guy like Miles Michaelis. You want everything to be efficient. Most players are running on fumes right now. You want to be efficient.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And for Michaelis, he's been good at this all year. Just getting right back in, though, pounding the zone again. But you're right, the pitches do add up. You got that. That would have been 1 pitch out right there. Would have been out of the inning with 44 through 4.
I don't believe any of the outfielders are wearing sunglasses. Munoz is not. It's a bright sunny day. We saw Bader with a catch earlier, shading with his glove. Here's a 1-1 pitch, and Crawford hits it out to right. Going back, Martinez, and he'll make the catch. Coming up, Molina, Bader, Munoz, midway through 4, and it's 1-0. The Raleigh Squirrel outfit, I would assume.
Whose idea do you think that was out of the two of them? I think it was.
Yeah, I'm with
it.
it.
A joint decision.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Spot on.
Mm-hmm.
Shake it. There you go. Yeah.
It's caught on again.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a thing through October. You know that, right?
I could see you coming to a World Series game dressed like that with your kids.
Oh, certainly. You think so?
Oh, yeah.
All right, fine. Look, if the kids are into it, I'm into it.
You'd do it.
I would. That's what dads do.
Oh, yeah.
I was asked to be Prince Charming for Halloween this year by my 2.5-year-old
going
daughter.
to do it.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Here's a 1-1. I have the same outfit every year.
What's that?
I have a werewolf mask, and my kids think it's funny because my dogs literally jump on me and try to tear me up. And I'm serious. Yes.
What kind of dogs you got?
Well, I've talked about there's 2 rescues. I've got a couple of Goldens, and one is a 3-legged dog. I really do. I have a 3-legged dog.
I didn't know that.
I thought you didn't miss anything on the
No, I
telecast.
had no idea.
Yeah. The 3-legged dog saved him. As Yachty pops it up. Well, you didn't think I did, did you? And the catch is made. That's you can't get over that. I have Hank. He's a beast.
So which one tries to attack you? Is it all of them?
Both. All right. Hank will try to knock me down, and then Junior comes in and licks me.
That's
He's
nice.
a 3-legged dog. He's quick though.
I'm sure he is.
But we
Look,
saved
you
his
have to-
life. He doesn't leave my side.
Well, he's certainly not going to attack you. That's for sure.
No. We saved his life. Poor fellow was hit, and we brought him in our car, and my son said we got to save him.
So you saw him right away?
Yeah, I mean, he's like a
geez.
rescue of all rescues. As Bader pops it up, this ball may drop, and he may wind up at second. It drops, and Bader is going to wind up at second. The hustle of Bader.
Well, we had just talked about a similar play with Longoria up to bat. Popped one up. Munoz misplayed it. Now this one a little bit different. Hit further, and Bader's got different speed, but he sees it up and then realizes, hey, I got to turn on the afterburners. Does so, and finds himself here standing on second base.
So the dog, he had all he was bones.
Yeah.
Skin and bones on the side of the wall.
Are
Or
you
side of
serious?
the road, yeah. And so my son said we have to take him in, so I brought him in. We put him in his lap, and then I got him some fast food.
How did I not know this story?
I don't know. You should have been paying attention.
I should
Ricky
pay
would
better
miss
attention.
it. Thanks for watching.
What kind of fast food? Like burger or something for him?
Had a burger and fries. Yep. Into right, and Hansen with the catch. And so his poor leg to save him. This is why I encourage anybody. I mean, you need to save the animals.
Rescue dogs for sure.
This guy is the rescue dog of all rescue dogs, and so it had to be amputated, but we saved his life, and we have a 3-legged dog.
That's cool.
And he's my buddy. He never leaves my side or my son's. He's the most loyal dog I've ever. And I love him. It's Junior. I like Hank too, but Hank on Halloween, I get out of the way. Now you're caught up.
I'm not
And
going to
again,
forget
thanks
now.
for watching.
Yeah, no, I apologize. I should have known.
I also have a cat.
Do you?
Yeah, I got a cat.
Now, do the dogs and cats get along?
No.
Okay.
They stay on opposite ends.
But that's easy to do when you have a couple of wings under your home.
I wish. Same thing goes for myself and my wife. Base hit by Michaelis inside the first base line. And Miles will stop at the bag at first, scoring Bader. And the Cardinals again coming through with 2 outs. And a 2-0 St. Louis lead.
Miles Michaelis helping himself out here. Gets this one outer half, goes the other way with it. We know that Michaelis can swing it a little bit, and you'd like to see him going that way. Harrison Bader with the hustle, getting on second beforehand. Got ourselves a new game. I was telling you on Friday, I was watching Michaelis take BP, and he was putting baseballs on the concourse over the bullpen in left field. He's got some big time pop.
Carpenter with some pop here. Right center at the wall, and it's caught by Hansen. He's had 3 hard hit balls today, but nothing to show for it. But the Cardinals, with 2 outs, have scored twice and a 2-0 Cardinal lead. His control so far through 4 innings has been just sensational. 38 strikes, 9 balls in his 47 pitches. And only 1 batter is reached, and that was on an error. The Memphis Redbirds night is coming up. That'll be Wednesday. Cardinals.com/theme. And you'll get their replica wearable ring from their championship from a year ago. So I'm sure we'll have another one next year.
I think this should be a growing trend here. The Redbirds just figuring out ways to win. They had 66 different players on their team this year. You know how hard it is to win when every one of your good players ends up somewhere else? I mean, you look at this team right here, a lot of guys that have been on the Memphis Redbirds club. Stubby Clapp and company did a great job this year.
The first hit of the game for the Giants, clean, Nick Hundley, and he'll wind up with a double. It's now 12 of 14 first pitch strikes from Miles Michaelis.
Well, you see Yachty set up inside, gets the pitch exactly where he wants it, and Hundley just does a good job of keeping this thing fair and just finds a hole here down the line. Another ground ball by Michaelis. That thing hit a couple feet to the right. Probably got yourself an out.
There's Chris Shaw, who struck out back in the 2nd inning. Well, you appreciate the hustle and the aspect of Bader on a bloop down the right field line that was close to being caught. He turns that into a double and then driven in by Miles Michaelis to give the Cardinals just a little cushion here midway through this game. And the 0-1. It's 2 nasty pitches. Tough to hit there for a left-hander under his hands.
You see the curveball right here from Michaelis. This thing just falls off the table. As you said, gets under his hands right there. He's got the slider that's harder that can get in there, but really likes to use that curveball against the lefties. 41 strikes.
Wow.
9 balls.
And then goes just a little bit off the plate. And that's another aspect, Brad, that you could talk about, how when you're around the plate, that's one thing and throwing strikes. But when you're around it with 2 strikes, batters, umpires, I mean, umpires will give you that call.
Yep.
Batters have to protect. He's teasing you with some of those pitches. And the 1-2 now to Shaw.
I think that's something that Michaelis does a really good job of, is expanding his strike zone. Also, we just showed the count of how many strikes that he's thrown, but as soon as he's in a count where it's in his favor, he'll go a little bit further off the plate, or if he knows somebody's in a count where they're going to be aggressive, he'll get swings and misses, or get swings down in the zone. He just knows how to pitch. I mean, he is very, very efficient out there. He attacks, but he's smart.
The swing and a miss and a big out with a left-handed batter. From the Giants' perspective, you're hoping Shaw just at least pulls that ball to the right side of the infield to move the runner up. Instead, Michaelis gets strikeout number 5.
Well, it just goes fastball up in the zone right here. 95 showed him a couple of breaking balls beforehand, and then throws the fastball up in the zone. When you see the curveball, you see it up, then drops off the table. That four seam just rides up there, and it's too much for Shaw to catch up with.
There's Alan Hansen. He flied to center. Every time I've seen Hansen, the more I like him. He had a couple of hits off the bench late on Friday. Made a good play at second base. He's in the outfield and right field today. It's funny when you watch a team only, and in this case 7 times a year, and they have good games against the team you cover, you think, well, this guy, why isn't he playing every day? You don't see the full body of work, but he's played well against St. Louis. The curveball kept in front by Molina.
So does Junior go hunting or fishing with you or anything in the off seasons?
I'll be honest, I've been with Junior fishing, and that expedition did not go well.
Okay.
He thought he could swim like Hank.
Just ended up doing a couple circles.
Yeah, Junior was not the greatest swimmer for sure. So I did actually rescue him twice. I forgot about that time. You asked the question.
Oh, you're a good man.
The 2-1. And a fly ball lifted out to shallow left. Late break by Ozuna. Doesn't matter. The catch made by DeYoung. Yeah, Hank, he doesn't worry. He's off and running, doing his thing, and Junior tries to follow suit. And that particular day, Hank wanted to take a little swim on a hot day.
You want to do what your brother's doing.
That's right. Those two are inseparable. So Junior jumped in, and let's just say it didn't go real well for Junior, but everything's just fine.
Live and learn, right?
You live and learn. And that goes for me too. And to sit him down and have a stern talk about swimming.
It's like, look, this isn't for you.
That's right.
This isn't what we do.
There's other positives. Well, leadoff double doesn't matter. The Giants go 1-2-3 after that. Midway through 5, and it's 2-0. I love you, Junior. Jose Martinez, Paul DeYoung, and Marcell Ozuna. Really good job of pitching there by Michaelis after a leadoff double. You know, changes the inning after that with a left-handed batter, and he gets him out.
Yep, get that strikeout, get a couple of pop-ups. Just never giving in. Even that the double was a fastball. He put it right where he wanted to, got the ground ball, ended up just getting down the line, just went right back to work.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Martinez, who doubled last time up and also grounded out to third, and he's 1 for 2. A strike on Martinez inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I have in my possession an incredible picture. I'm going to show it to you here momentarily.
Is it Junior?
No, sir.
Okay.
It's Jim Jackson, Mike Shannon, John Rooney, and Mike Claiborne, all with their.
Are they in Alaska?
Well, they might be with their hats. They've got all. There they are. Jim Jackson there on the left, Mike Shannon, John Rooney, and Mike Claiborne. And they all have their winter caps and flaps.
That's going to have to happen around here.
Mm-hmm.
You'd look great in that.
I can't wait to get mine. That was the giveaway today. It's a little too warm, so fans not wearing them right now, but
oh, they will.
What a tremendous look. It's Megan Eberhardt of our promotions department put that together. We had the hockey jersey on Friday night. That was very popular. There it is. So you can put the flaps up if you wish, like that. Or when it's cold, you go Jeffrey Leonard and, well, I guess it'd be 2 flaps down.
Could you go one depending on which way the wind was blowing? I mean, is that an option for you? I have to think it is.
Absolutely. Oh. 2 and 2.
You might not believe this, but being from the desert, I don't have too many hats like that.
I've noticed.
Yeah.
You get very chilly in the winter here.
I'm freezing right now.
Then you have that look. And DeYoung way out in front. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the bottom of the 5th. So Suarez, 2 strikeouts in the inning, 5 today. And it brings in Marcell Ozuna. I thought the most out-of-place look we've had yet was when the rookies had to wear hockey gear on the road trip.
That was a good look.
And Adolis Garcia dressed full hockey gear.
Yeah.
Young man from Cuba. Even had the eye black going. Now he was an intimidating look.
I was going to say,
for a hockey player.
He looked the part.
Yeah. He's chiseled. Here's a 1-0. Now Tyler O'Neill, if I was the Blues after watching yesterday, I'd ask him about his skating technique, if indeed he's been on skates. He's from Canada.
I mean, let's just say he can, right? I mean, he's got to.
Now that's an enforcer.
Yeah, I would sign him up currently.
Just give him a try.
Part of the offseason. I don't know if the Cardinals would be in on that.
Probably not. Swinging on 3-0 and hits a high fly ball into right. Hansen over and makes the catch, almost overran it. And you can see Ozuna frustrated with that 3-0 swing. Cardinals go in order. We head to the 6th, 2-0.
Everything right now being incredibly aggressive and very, very efficient. 58 pitches through 5 innings thus far. This game's got Miles Michaelis written all over it.
This would be Chase Darno pinch hitting for Suarez. Suarez only at 77 pitches, but late in the season, Giants out of it. I'm sure they want to be careful with him.
When you think about looking towards the future, he's going to be a part of it with this rotation. We mentioned Derek Rodriguez earlier. Had a great year. You want to be smart with these young guys. You want to put them in a good position.
And Darno on the first pitch pulls it foul. Seeing Yadier Molina pick up the bat of Darno. I'm sure our colleague Tim McCarver has probably thrown his lunch at the TV screen. I mean, you can't. You don't do that. 0-2, which then makes me think, after watching these hat giveaways, about the Tim McCarver red scarf giveaway potentially
next year. That's coming, isn't it?
I think that that is in the works. I talked to Megan the other day about it.
Tim rocks that scarf.
Yes, he does.
Wears it well.
It's more about fashion than it is keeping him warm.
See, I think the beauty of it is I think it can do both. I mean, he pulls it off at the right time. It's not like he's rocking it in the middle of the summer. He wears it in perfect seasons.
This one may have gotten under the mask of Yadier Molina. Take a look. Sure did.
Pops up and catches him right there in the throat, it looks like.
Ouch.
The beating that Yadier Molina takes on a day-to-day is unreal. A lot of stuff you don't even notice, the foul tips here and there. Stuff like that, blocking the ball, how it kicks up.
The swing and a miss. Strikeout of Darno. And that's number 6 today for Miles Michaelis.
this thing inside 96, just sinking in right there. That pitch has been very effective. He's been able to throw his fastball in for a strike, then in there even further to get the swing and miss. It opens up so much that he can throw that slider away off the plate also. That's a lot to work, a lot to look at for an opposing hitter. (16 of 19 first pitch strikes). Miles Michaelis has been in the driver's seat all day long.
One and two on Blanco, the top of the lineup here for the Giants.
So another benefit of pumping strikes is keeps your defense ready to go.
No doubt.
Nobody ends up being back on their heels and waiting around. The action is coming. He's pumping strikes, getting his defense working.
Just off the plate. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch by Michaelis. He got him on the outside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts and 7 today.
Well, he tried to go backdoor with the slider beforehand. This time goes backdoor with the curveball up in the zone a little bit, but catches the corner and gets number 7. And once again, there's a borderline call right there. But as you mentioned earlier, when you're around the zone so much, when you're spotting up all your pitches, you will get the benefit of the doubt, and that one is a strike right on the corner.
There's Joe Panic and a ground ball that's hit to second. Munoz. How about Miles Michaelis, as sharp as we've seen him this year, and he's doing it in the final week of this regular season. 2-0 midway through 6.
Now, you know what's beautiful about this time of the year for the St. Louis Cardinals is very rarely are they planning vacations at this time. You got October on the horizon. Got a new pitcher here, by the way, for the Giants, Ray Black. The Chevrolet called to the bullpen.
Why don't you do the rest of the inning? I'm supposed to read the promos and all the. I know this is your 18th game, and you've done a fabulous job this year. But
well, you were taking a drink of your water. I figured I could just handle that part for you if you wanted.
Well, I mean,
I don't mind.
I could have finished it up, tagged it with the Chevy call to the pen, but you were a little aggressive.
I'm still learning.
A little aggressive.
I do appreciate so far, and I realize we have a couple of innings left, that you haven't buried me totally yet. So that's been something.
For fans that don't know, first thing I said to Brad when he became an analyst is he asked me, what should I do? I said, well, just you got a little smart wit about you.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But if you cross me, I'll bury you on the air.
Yeah, and
just bury you.
You have reminded me of that each and every day I've been here.
That's right.
I appreciate that, and I think it's good to just have daily reminders.
Just first thing, it's not how you do it. I'll bury you. Then,
yeah,
what's been going on? That's how we work together.
I actually don't even think you've asked the follow-up. It's more so just, hey, I'll bury you. Let's get to work.
The 2-1 is fouled back 2-2.
But things are good. Thank you.
Jim Hayes, want to remind you about the parking situation that.
Did you come here today and find me parked in your spot?
No. I just know you have a issue with parallel parking.
You know, it's not the easiest thing for me.
I understand it.
I'm going to get one of those cars that does it on its own.
So we have 3 spots for the 3 of us, myself, you, and Jim. And of course, Jim gets here early. I get here early to prep and do the work, and then you arrive late. And so we had a spot in 1 and in 3, but 2 was open, and you were letting us know about it on Friday that you were very upset that you had to park in between the 2 cars.
Well, I don't think that's exactly how this went down, but I will say if in fact 2 people are here before the 3rd one, it would just make sense to park in an order as opposed to staggered.
Well, that's how you want to look at it.
Leaving a middle spot open.
I'd look at it a little bit differently.
At it.
As Wisdom's going to pinch run for Jerko after the walk, I'd look at it as if I'm the new guy in the block and maybe I should get here before the other veterans.
Right.
Just saying.
That's valid, and one you know that hurts.
You've had a great year. It's been a lot of fun.
Had I known you had an event here at the ballpark at 1 o'clock, surely I'd have shown up earlier.
Well, you need to think that way. This is Brad's final game of the season. I've been mentioning when I've worked with the various partners, hey, this is Jim Edmonds' final game or Rick Horton's final game. Let's make sure fans understand, not the final game ever, just the final game of the regular season for them on their schedules in the booth. As is the case today with Brad Thompson. You'll see him on some post games coming up, and I mean this sincerely. For your first time ever doing this, you are outstanding at what you do. You make it fun, and you've had a tremendous year and many more years to come. I mean that.
I do appreciate it. It's been fun up here. It's a good time. Baseball's a good time, isn't it?
It's the
and
best.
When you're not getting buried live on air, I mean, things are good.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah.
We're guys hitting ropes off you.
Why?
Why'd I have to go there?
Why?
Because you go there.
Yeah.
So I figured it was the open door. I could go back to your playing career.
Right, but yeah, I didn't go there yet today.
Not yet.
Generally, you wait for somebody to open that door. But apparently, you could just come right in.
Been fun. A ball and a strike on Yadier Molina. Molina hits it out to right. That's a base hit. Wisdom to second and on his way to third. That's the second time today that Molina has served a ball into right for a hit. And the runners at the corners now, nobody out for St. Louis.
Well, the first time earlier in this game, it was a pitch that was well off the plate. A breaking ball gets another one here up in the zone this time. And Yadi just goes with it. He stays on everything. If you throw Yadi a pitch on the inner half, he'll crush it. He'll pull it. This time he goes the other way, and Wisdom does a great job of going first to third.
Big at bat here for Bader. Nobody out. Runners at the corners. Little bunt, and a run will score. Safe at the plate. Wisdom just beat the tag, and it's 3-0 Cardinals, and still nobody out.
Well, here is the BJC difference maker right here. Harrison Bader puts one down. Little safety squeeze. Wisdom in right beforehand. Great back control right here by Harrison Bader. And another big run for the Cardinals in a tight ball game.
Almost too late of a break there by Wisdom, but got in just in time, and it's now a 3-0 lead. The Cardinals about hit the Giants 7-1 as we play here in the home half of the 6th. Runners at first and second, and nobody out. Take a look at it here, Brad, and the jump by Wisdom. Maybe Bader did this on his own.
Well, he sees it down late. You want to make sure, especially when you see it, that it is getting down, and very well could have. There was a hole on the right side, big time. They had the shift on over to the left side of the infield. So a little bit late jump, but just enough, and much needed cushion here.
How about the speed of Bader again in this game? He made a play defensively in left center that not many guys get to. He had a bloop hit down the right field line. He turned that into a double, then scored on a 2-out hit by Michaelis, and then the bunt there.
Well, speed never slumps.
No. That's why I think if he plays every day, and he is getting better against right-handed pitching, very good against the lefties, but the ability to have a bloop or a bunt and still make an impact clearly with his glove, but also breaking that 0 for 8, the 0 for 10s with a bunt, those kind of things.
I feel the same way about Harrison Bader as I do with Colton Wong. I think that no matter the matchup, the glove, the skill set plays. And Harrison has shown time and time again this year that he can get the job done. He can get the job done against a tough righty. He can do it against lefties. He can do it with his legs, pinch running. I mean, whenever he's in there, you notice him, he makes an impact.
One ball and 2 strikes. They're not very deep, especially in right for Munoz. He showed some pop and they shade him to right center. So look at that gap. And with Bader's speed, ball in the left center field gap, it's a 5-0 lead.
He puts one there. Munoz will be standing on third also.
Runner goes from second, and it's a base hit. And by starting the runner, the third baseman Longoria out of position. And Munoz comes through again. The action, the activity, the movement results in a run, and still nobody out for the St. Louis Cardinals. That's a double play ball if they don't start that runner.
It's hit right at him, and Longoria has to go over there to cover third base, and you see the incredible jump right there. Yachty gets a great jump. Munoz finds a hole, and the Cardinals tack on another one.
I would say Molina did that on his own.
For sure. Yachty gets incredible jumps. We know he's not fast. He's intelligent. He's out there. He gets tendencies. He knows how many times you've looked. And he caught something right there and ends up getting a huge jump and causes that to happen.
If not, that's a double play.
For sure it is.
Yachty took off, and then Bader saw it and was like, uh-oh, I better get going too. So it tells you that more than likely Molina did that on his own. And now Molina just getting ready.
That's right. Go back to work.
That's right.
Well, as we talked about before, speed never slumps. Yachty's got that too. Sneaky speed.
There you go. Michael is getting down a bunt, but pushed it foul. It changes the complexion of this inning. Instead of 2 outs, there's still nobody out. A run is in, and now the Giants have to play their infield end. You were mentioning the other day, Michael is hitting during BP and putting the ball basically on Clark Street. His home run against the Rockies, one of the longest home runs of the year by any Cardinal.
It was impressive. His one early on against the Brewers was really well struck also. He's a good athlete.
Pulled back, and it's 1 ball 1 strike back in the 4th. As we were talking about dogs, it's good luck.
Served that puppy to right, didn't he?
Take it back and strike it from the record. That was awful.
That's my fault. I found it timely.
Here's a 1-1. Michaelis gets the bunt down. Runner stays put at third. Black to the second baseman covering first base, and runners at second and third with 1 out.
Well, the home runs are great. His RBI single earlier helped himself out. That was great, but pitchers need to be able to get this bunt down. That's an important one, and he gets it.
So Bruce Bochy realizing the game may be on the line right here, and Carpenter coming up will go with his lefty. With Steven Okert. And Okert will replace Black, second and third, and 1 out here in the home half of the 6th. Okert faced Carpenter on Friday, got him to pop up to second base. So it's a 4-run lead, but boy, this is a big at bat here for Matt Carpenter.
It is big, and we did get a chance to see Okert on Friday. A lot of sliders out of him. And you got to think it has been tough luck so far today for Matt Carpenter, but the process has been good. He's been hitting the baseball really well. You got a big opportunity right here to just add on. Also realizing that the back end of the bullpen, Carlos Martinez had pitched a couple days in a row. Same thing with Dakota Hudson. It'd be nice to have more of a cushion.
Infield is in, and ball one to Carpenter. The Chevy call to the pen. So you've got the infield in with a shift. You'd have to think they go back to a right-hander with Martinez coming up. So Okert in to face Carpenter. Maybe that would be it. And Matt pops it up. Will it get out of play? It does not. Jose Martinez coming up. They may pull him back.
Well, tough Sky here. We've already seen a couple of balls get lost. Longo does a good job to stay in this one, and Okert does his job.
And so Okert gets Carpenter. Martinez coming up. Another pitching change coming up. And that is Pierce Johnson, the right-hander for the Giants. The 4-0 game. Their Chevy called to the pen. The ERA about 5.5 in 34 appearances this year. Teams have been able in this spot to get Martinez to expand his zone the last month or so. They do it with elevated fastballs in or sliders away.
Well, hopefully a sign of things to come earlier in this game. That double was the other way, right center gap, stayed on it very well. That's something he's going to need to do. They're going to continue to exploit you one way until you prove that you can do it again.
That pitch right there. So he stayed away to go to 2-0. Look at those numbers with 2 outs and runners in scoring position overall for the year. 459. You're probably not going to find many better than that. A base hit could make it a 6-0 Cardinal lead. The 2-0 pitch to Martinez. Two and one. The next two, Jose Martinez. 2-2.
Big hack at the fastball right there. You'd have to think that Johnson's probably going to go back to the breaking ball down and away here. Hope that he makes a mistake over the plate, and if he does execute the one down off the zone, that Martinez is able to hold up on it.
The 2-2 pitch. Up and in to Young on deck. So 3-2, first base open, 2 runners on and 2 outs. The next to Jose Martinez, and he drills it out to deep left, and it's down. 2 runs will score, and Martinez comes through, and the Cardinals have opened up a 6-0 lead.
Well, 3-2 got the breaking ball up in the zone. Johnson wasn't able to locate that thing down in the way. O'Neill comes in to pinch run, but here's the breaking ball. You see it hang there, and Martinez hammers this thing. The Giants had him shaded in the outfield to right field. Left fielder was playing in and burns everybody on that hanging breaking ball right now. Cardinals lead 6-0. Keep pouring it on.
Here's DeYoung with the runner at second base. Now Tyler O'Neill, the pinch runner. And Paul's had a tough day with 3 strikeouts. Third time this season. 2 doubles for Martinez in a game. And the 0-1 pitch to the Cardinals shortstop. 1 ball, 1 strike. Drops in, and it's 1-2. Johnson pitched at Missouri State, and Paul DeYoung played at Illinois State. Fouled back. So much of the attention for the Missouri Valley Conference, locally based in St. Louis, to what happens in basketball, but there have been some great, and I mean great, baseball players come from that conference over the years.
For sure. Paul DeYoung being a great ambassador for them. And an incredibly intelligent one at that.
You bet. Here's a 1-2. Doug Elgin, the longtime commissioner of the Missouri Valley Conference. He's done a lot for this town by bringing the conference championship to St. Louis, which for that particular weekend means millions of dollars poured into the local economy. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Paul DeYoung. DeYoung hits it out to deep left. It is off the top of the wall. And he's held to a single as O'Neill will score to make it a 7-0 Cardinal lead.
Pitch up in the zone right here. Paul DeYoung puts a great swing on it. As you mentioned before, been a rough day with the 3 strikeouts. You know this one felt good. Add to this lead a little bit. You see the pitch just up in the zone, middle in. This thing is hit very well. I don't think Shaw saw it out in left field off the bat too well. And this thing about a foot away from being a home run.
There's Marcell Ozuna, 9th man to come to the dish. That backs up for a ball. 7-0 here in the bottom of the 6th. DeYoung is now hit safely in all the games he's played against the Giants this year. The short lead at first and a 2-0. 3 balls and no strikes. Patrick Wisdom. He came in to run for Jed Jerko. Started this inning with a walk. Three and 1. The 3-1 pitch. Get out of play. 3-2. I got to wonder if Luke Voigt was the catcher for Johnson at Missouri State. Luke Voigt, for fans that don't know, played at Missouri State, from this area, and was a catcher then. The Cardinals drafted him and he moved to the infield, and now putting up great numbers in the stretch run for the Yankees. The strikeout of Ozuna. Big inning for the Cardinals. They pick up 5 in the home half of the 6th. They have out hit the Giants 10-1 in the ball game. Small ball, long ball, it all adds up to a 7-0 lead. Home face a shortage of food and basic needs. Jose invites fans to purchase $10 tickets to the series beginning with the Brewers tomorrow. All 3 games, $10 tickets, Cardinals.com/help Jose. And 75% of each ticket sold goes to those relief efforts. Very well done. I want to see big crowds beginning tomorrow night with Milwaukee here, as Michaelis delivers a strike to Longoria.
68 pitches is all it took him to get through 6. He's been getting ahead of everybody so far.
It's 18 of 21 first pitch strikes, and you'd have to think with a lead of 7-0 late in the season, and granted it's only 70 pitches for Michaelis, but if he can get through this inning and it stays 7-0, and that's O'Neill in right field now, you're always trying to catch, you know, an inning here, an inning there,
yep,
even in the final week, and so you could cut down the workload for Michaelis, go to your bullpen, still pick up a win, and keep him fresh for the next start.
Yeah, we talk a lot about the workload of a guy like Jack Flaherty and Austin Gomber, Dakota Hudson, these young guys. Well, Miles Michaelis hasn't done this either at the big league level, thrown this many innings.
He just matched what he did in Japan a couple of starts ago, but this is now uncharted territory for Michaelis in terms of innings pitched. And the 2-2 is chopped towards Munoz, and he commits his second error of the day.
Michaelis got the ground ball he wanted right here. Munoz ranging to the left, and looks like it just pops up, catches him right in the heel of the glove. Still got a big cushion, but you don't like to see that. Here's the thing, though, about Michaelis. Works quick, throws a lot of strikes. He's going to give Munoz another opportunity, get another ground ball, and erase that one.
Cardinals lead baseball in errors, and they have not done that league-wide. Lead the majors in errors since all the way back in 1958.
I know that's something that Mike Schilt and company, the entire staff, has focused on a lot, is trying to get that defense better and better. They work like crazy beforehand. And I think this group has the ability for sure to be a lot better.
Hit down the right field line. That's trouble, and a home run hit by Brandon Crawford. Cuts a lead to 7-2. And Crawford with home run number 14, a no-doubter hit down the line.
Well, haven't been too many mistakes today for Miles Michaelis. He has been on point, putting the ball wherever he wants it. This one just hangs up a little bit. Crawford does a great job of keeping it fair. You have the long layoff after the Cardinals scored the 5 spot in the 6th, and this one just kind of goes right into that honey hole of a left-handed hitter. They love that ball down and in. He just drops the head on it. Nice balanced swing and gets the Giants on the board.
Boy, he's been such a good player for so many years.
He's really good. I think he's one of the best shortstops in the game. His bat is underrated.
There's Nick Hundley, who doubled back in the 5th. Pitch that's popped up and out of play. Pitch count at 80. Crawford's 14 home runs matches his total from last season. Curveball of beauty. This is hit number 132, one more than he had a season ago. Statcast AI powered by AWS. You talked about down and into a lefty, and that means trouble. Strikeout for Michaelis.
Well, a great way to bounce back right there. You saw the nice breaking ball beforehand. That goes 95 on the outer half to Hundley. Just kind of flails at it. Michaelis has looked fantastic today, that home run aside.
For a guy that we've seen in the hot days really builds up a sweat, doesn't even seem like he's breaking a sweat today.
No, he's been so efficient. So under control, even stuff like that. So the fastball in, we were talking about this earlier in the game. He does such a great job of pitching in off the plate. Well, he does it effortlessly. That's 95. He just puts it exactly where he wants it and then goes right back to work on another one. A lot of times you'll see guys that want to command the inner half, but it's almost like they will the ball to get in there, or they try too hard to get it in there. He's just pitching.
Lined into center to Bader. Shaw retired, and the batter is Alan Hansen. Bader with the sunglasses on to make that catch. Bright sunshiny day here in St. Louis, along with Tyler O'Neill as well.
O'Neill's got his jersey on today too. That's a change.
It's good luck.
It is a good look. Just another strike one.
So effortless, and you know it's not, but man, when he pitches, it just looks easy. Some guys are max effort, and it just didn't seem like he's that guy.
He's showing it with every pitch. Each one of his pitches in his arsenal. He'll throw strike one with a slider, curveball, fastball. He'll get you off of his off speed with stuff like that.
My guess would be this would be his final inning with a 5-run lead. Now, tight game. If it gets tight, that changes. But you got some guys out there that could cover, you would hope, 6 more outs.
For sure. And you got a lot of guys that you would like to get a little bit of work. You do have that cushion right now, so you can go to some different guys. Still a lot of opportunity, I believe, in that bullpen for guys to show out. I know that there's only 6 games left, and the back end of this bullpen has been pretty solidified. By the way, that back end of the bullpen, if it did get tight, looks a little different. You'd have to think Carlos Martinez and Dakota Hudson would be hands off today. Got a lot of good options down there, though.
Haven't seen Norris dealing with that blister. There's Brett Cecil and Luke Weaver. The 2-2. It's pulled foul. Two and two the count. Alan Hansen at the plate. Hammers that foul. You're starting to see a couple of pitches up. Might be a sign of some fatigue. This game goes along on a beautiful day here in St. Louis. Not hot, as we talked about. Doesn't seem like he is fatigued, but he's getting hit harder this inning than he has all day long.
Well, one of the biggest changes was also that long layoff from the previous half inning. The Cardinals in the bottom of the inning put up 5. That's a lot of sitting around for Miles Michaelis.
Our crowd today, 46,596, 46596, 27th sellout of the year. Three and two the count. Went with the off-speed pitch.
It's a really good pitch right there. 3-2 shouldn't be shocking at all, the way that he's been controlling all of this. But we came into this game showing you that Miles Michaelis has one less walk than starts this year. Yet he's still not afraid to throw the 3-2 breaking ball. He'll throw anything, any count, and still throw strikes.
Little flare lifted out to left, but Ozuna is there to make the catch. 7-2 in time to stretch here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. 7th rolls in. This will be game number 45 for hard-throwing right-hander Hunter Strickland. Patrick Wisdom will be the leadoff man for the Cardinals. Thanks to Cardinals home runs this season, the Gateway Honda dealers have donated more than $180 grand to help make children's dreams come true. Together with Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri, they help grant the wishes of critically ill children. Wisdom, a pinch runner, back in that 5-run 6th inning after the walk issued to Jed Jerko. May not see a lot of movement inside the Central Division with the two teams the Cardinals are chasing. Cubs a 6-1 lead over the White Sox. That's in the top of the 7th. And Milwaukee leading 13-4. That's in the top of the 8th against Pittsburgh. Milwaukee in town tomorrow. Our pregame show begins at 6:30. John Brebbia throwing in the Cardinal pen.
Tell you what, Brebbia has looked very good here recently. In command of everything. We saw him on Friday night strike out the side. And these next 6 games have a chance to be a lot of fun, don't they?
Oh boy. Nothing wrapped up right now for any team inside the Central. The 2-2. The electricity, you would hope, carries over from the weekend to tomorrow night.
It'll have to. It will. It's that time of year. Everybody's so excited about it. Everywhere you go, people are talking about Cardinal baseball. Everybody talking about the turnaround that this club has had, the way that they're playing. Everybody's bought in. Need to show up and be a part of it.
And a leadoff walk to Patrick Wisdom.
Time to find an ATM? Again? We understand. Great Southern Bank. We're fans too.
Round of applause for Yadier Molina. I thought one of the key plays in the game, and it won't show up, but he's at second, starts for third, and with that, got a great jump. Longoria going to third to cover the bag, and a ground ball hit right where he would have been positioned. Turned out to be a base hit and an RBI because Molina takes third base, and then after that the infield had to be drawn in. Watch this. Taylor-made double play.
It was perfect. Yadi just gets the great jump. Knew the tendency of the pitcher right there. Takes advantage. Whole new ball game because of it.
Popped up. Out of play. I mean, he understands the position. It's hard. It's late in the year, but you cannot pick up his mask. You can't.
Well, Timmy was just helping him.
I don't care.
Got a 5-run lead. Just being a nice guy.
You think Hank Aaron was going to do that for me?
I doubt it.
Well, then don't do it here.
That's a good point.
Thank you. Oh, 0-2 pitch. And Molina hits a fly ball down the left field line. Foul. I guarantee I'll be on my way home and be a voice message that pops up. You don't think I've listened?
Now we had this conversation earlier about John Miller next door,
Tim.
and he came in. Is Tim okay with the impersonation of him as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Tim's okay.
You're very good.
I'm working on the Tim. I got some tendencies of where he likes to go, what he talks about. You see Tim as we wrap up the regular season at Wrigley Field. Double play ball off the bat of Molina for 6-3 on the double play. How about Crawford there? How smooth was that across the bag?
Just so quick, easy.
Love the story about Brandon Crawford back in the early 90s. There's a picture of a young man, and I'm going to paraphrase what it was, but it was a sign that he's holding up in front of the front page news, San Francisco Chronicle. Something of the effect of "Please don't move." Giants were talking about moving to Tampa Bay, and the young man featured in that photo is now their starting shortstop.
I did not know that.
Pretty cool.
That is cool. Get to be a fan of something, then be a part of something.
I mean, they were 1 foot out the door to Tampa Bay, and then Peter McGowan saved it. Barry Bonds came to San Francisco. They got the ballpark, China Basin, which is magnificent. It's marvelous. Talk about it if you can make a trip. It's good to see there a base hit against the right-hander for Bader, but there's a lot of places we talk about, and certainly in the top 5 would be going to AT&T Park. It's beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, it's a beautiful trip. It's a fun one. It's an interesting one, though, as a member of the bullpen, due to the fact that they just kind of forgot to build a bullpen for you. So it's one of the rare places that you hang out in the dugout until it's time to go. As you can imagine, the bullpen can be a tad bit looser at times than the dugout can be at times, especially when Tony La Russa was your skipper. It was an interesting one, having him watching you the whole time.
Well, I would say this too. You know, before Wrigley changed and put their bullpens away from the fans, if you had to be seated with the fan base of the Giants, who could be quite animated, that could be fun too.
I I feel like a lot of times people underestimate how intense the fans can be in San Francisco. They are all over you. They are intense. They're great fans for their team. Great fans
for their team.
For their team. Right. They will get in there on you.
Love going out to San Francisco. Great city. So much to do. And a ballpark that just seems to suit the feel of the city. If that makes any sense, but it's open to the bay, and the fan base is electric, and why not? They've had so much to cheer about here the last few years to get excited about. And even if they weren't in postseason play, they had Bonds to talk about.
Yep.
One and two the count. The Shadows at home plate now. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs.
Munoz with a couple of knocks today. He's done a very good job overall. Wherever they ask him to play. Always had a couple of errors, but he's been a great addition to this ball club.
And they got him. So a strikeout of Munoz sends us to the 8th in a 7-2 game. Faced 3 on Monday, 2 on Tuesday, 3 on Friday, and so Brebbia into the ball game.
Only scored upon once in the month of September. Just looks confident going out there throwing everything for strike. That slider of his is wipeout. Good velocity on the fastball. It's all about those commanding counts. We saw Miles Michaelis do it all day. We've seen Brebbia do that for the last couple of months.
It'll be Garcia, then Strickland's spot, and the top of the lineup. Hyundai pitch arsenal, a couple of really good pitches that he's got. Mid to high 90s fastball, and at times when right, a wipeout slider. Popped up, and this will be Paul DeJong. Get the feeling as we go along that Brebbia, if the Cardinals can make a run, you'd see him in those late inning spots.
I think so. You have your usual cast of suspects down there in the bullpen. Obviously, Carlos Martinez at the back end right now. Hicks, Dakota Hudson has certainly emerged. Bud Norris when the finger is healed and he's right. But Brebbia is another one. Feel really good about putting him in. And he's earned it. He's earned it every step along the way. He's been getting the opportunities, and he's been running with them.
Here's Hunter Pence, longtime Astro in Philly, and a free agent to be. 0-2. Miles Michaelis, another tremendous start. 11th time this season without yielding a walk. Tied with Clayton Kershaw, second in the National League, trailing only Ivan Nova. His final line, 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, no walks, struck out 8. He threw 96 pitches at the big league level. 72 were strikes.
It's incredible.
It's now 31 starts and 29 walks. Wow.
Once again, not every strike is equal. You can throw strikes over the heart of the plate, and oftentimes you get hurt when you do that. He's spotting up on the corners. He's doing with each one of his pitches. He elevates when he wants to. Had it all going yet again today.
That's unbelievable. 31 starts, 29 walks. It's not like he's given you 4 or 5 innings a start. As Pence picks up a base hit out to left.
I think that's half the reason why he's giving you as many innings as he is. He's not giving up the free passes, not wasting pitches. Doesn't even tend to get that deep in counts.
Brad, that's 192, including today now. 192 2/3 innings. 29 walks.
Yeah, I'm not good at math. I just know that that's a good ratio. You'd like to be somewhere around there. It's also quite impressive to see Miles Mikolas flirting with that 200 inning mark, a mark in baseball nowadays in 2018 that you don't see too many people around.
Good point. Analytics will tell you going a 3rd time through a lineup usually not beneficial for a team or a starter. There's Gregor Blanco in a 7-2 Cardinal lead. See Ozuna near the line, shallow in left. One ball and 1 strike. Blanco today 0 for 3. So again, the matchups beginning tomorrow. Flaherty, Chase Anderson, Gomber against Gio Gonzalez, John Gant against Jolice Chassin. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Base hit into right. Bullpen in the last 6 games, parted by BP, brighter picture.
The numbers have gotten a lot better for the Cardinal bullpen. The entire second half has been a lot better, but that's how you want these guys throwing the ball as you head into the most important games of the season. At this point, each and every day you play, it's the most important game. But you got 3 more against the Brewers, as you mentioned, had the matchups there, 3 more against the Cubs. And then it's postseason time. They're going to be leaning heavily on the bullpen. Bullpens are very important in October.
Mike Myers begins to throw in the Cardinal bullpen. And a fly ball lifted to center. Bader makes the catch. He's throwing to third base. Not in time as Pence took a chance. Tagging up from second base to third, down by 5 late.
I'll tell you what. I'm a little bit surprised that was as close as it was. See Bader just do a great job here finding it, get behind it, and make a really strong throw.
The Cardinals double switching or challenging? Did he come off the bag? Didn't look to be that way. Looks like they may appeal. To me, the bigger question is, you're down by 5. Why are you tagging up from second to third?
I do totally agree with that one.
So he'll step on, get on the mound, then step off. Throw to second. And so now, can you challenge? So now they're going to challenge the play at third. Interesting.
Well,
I've not seen this yet.
No. Mike Schill might be thinking the same thing. Say, hey, you're going to tag up, try to make third. We're going to make sure on every angle and every way that you're there. It was close on the slide. You see the leg pop up for a second.
And I think that's why we had the delay. The umpires may be confused. Okay, what are you asking? And then Mike said, well, hold on.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll go with the play at second. If that doesn't work, then we go to third. We'll challenge there.
Yeah, it's very tough to tell right there.
I think he's safe.
When it's bang bang like that too, it generally just ends up going the way of the initial call, that being Penn safe over at third base.
I think if you're Mike Schilt, you're saying 5-run lead, not much to lose. You're late in the game, haven't used a challenge. Why not? Give Bader a lot of credit for not taking it for granted, too.
For sure. Said got behind this thing really well. I think Patrick Wisdom did a good job selling the tag, acting like the ball wasn't there yet. You see it just so closely right there. All right, got to go get the out the old-fashioned way.
So 2 outs, runners at the corners, and Evan Longoria. So the call stands. Brebbia, a couple of warm-up tosses just to stay loose. And again, I go back to why are you tagging up anyway? But no harm, no foul, right?
I guess.
Runners at the corners, and time is called. Shadow's certainly a factor right now at the plate. Just to further the point, I mean, you're down by 5. You need base runners and a guy that can give you a little damage here at the plate. The heart of the order coming up. Longoria. After that, Crawford, who's already hit a home run. So
you really don't want to run yourself out of things.
Exactly. The fastball taken a bit outside. 1 ball and no strikes. 15 pitches this inning. And the 1-0. Time called. Longoria has struck out, reached on an air twice, both times committed by Munoz.
There's that really nice slider right there that you were talking about. When he is on, that thing is nasty. 85, starts on the inner half, ends up on the corner. See that good break right there. Perfect pitch.
Out of play, 2 strikes. This time next week, we're at Wrigley Field and very well could know whether or not you're in. Cardinals also, everybody scoreboard watching. A win today. You put a little pressure on Colorado, only in the 2nd inning of their game. Dodgers leading their ball game 2-0 against the Padres. And the 1-2 struck him out. Good work by Brebbia. Sends us to the bottom of the 8th. And the Cardinals with the lead of 7-2. Take a look at our game summary from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Crawford is 1 for 3. 2-run homer. Michaelis outstanding. Jose Martinez a big day as well. Major League debut Edmundo Sosa. I'm sure the idea with this was to make sure the Cardinals are protected with Wong and their middle infield. So Sosa added it.
You get that protection. It also just provides flexibility. This month you're able to add players. You might as well give yourself more chances. Sosa with a good year. I'm sure a very exciting time for him right now.
No doubt. Love seeing this. 2 balls, no strikes. 3-0 this year in the minor leagues. Split time between Springfield and Memphis. Hit 270. 12 home runs. Drove in 59. Swinging away on 3-0 in your major league debut.
You're darn right.
How about that?
Going to be the best pitch you see. Might as well let it eat.
And he draws a walk. This is Casey Kelly in our Chevy Call to the Pen. Made a couple of starts. Appearing in his 6th ball game. So walk in the debut of Edmundo Sosa. Where was your debut?
It was here. Well, not here, Old Busch. But,
Busch 2.
Yes, Busch 2. It was quite memorable. I'll never forget the jog in. And Scott Rowland handed me the ball after throwing it around and just saying, a lot of people here, huh?
Is that what he said?
Yeah. So, yeah. Yes, Mr. Rowland, there are a lot of people. Well, good luck.
Is that what he did?
Yeah. It was great.
That's great.
You know Scott's dry sense of humor.
That's funny. Were your parents here?
They were not here for that one. They were here the next series.
Want to know the count on Carpenter. 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, sometimes in our business, you got to go out on a limb and make a prediction.
Okay.
I'm saying right now is home run number 36 coming up for Matt Carpenter. You ready for it?
I'm just letting it breathe.
I'm saying home run number 36 for Matt Carpenter. There it is. Sometimes you got to go out on a limb, and sometimes you're right. He had swung the bat so well today, it was bound to happen.
You knew something good was going to happen for sure, and it certainly does. Gets the changeup, center cut, and puts a charge into it for number 36. Nice call. Nice call, Dan.
First home run since August 31st. There's Tyler O'Neill. It was an educated guess. I wasn't just saying it just to say it. He had had 3 at-bats as O'Neill is hit by a pitch where he was just smoking the ball. And you could tell when he's locked in. And speaking of smoke, there it is after the home run.
At this point, I'd like you to give me 6 of your favorite numbers. Just randomly. As your phone lights up like it's the lottery.
I just, you know, sometimes
It's a good
you got
call.
a feeling, man.
It's a
You got to
good
go
call.
with it. You put yourself out there and you make a prediction. Carpenter today had lined out into the shift with the shortstop behind the bag at second. Diving play at first, hit one deep to the wall in the 4th, and then popped out with 2 runners on in the 6th. I probably have called and seen every plate appearance he's had in the big leagues. You just watch these guys and you get a little feel for it. That's all.
Well, it worked out pretty well. That's worked out really well. 36 home runs. Got that big time pop, and we were talking about the shift before. Not much you could do about that. Can't shift that.
9-2. Cardinals with the lead. We're at the bottom of the 8th and 1 out. I would think it'd be meaningful, even though I said to Matt the other day, I said, what would 40 mean to you? He said, really, I'm not thinking about it. You know, 40 home runs, yeah, big number. But I'm not thinking about it. And I said, you're lying. He said, you're right. He said, maybe I am thinking about it a little bit.
Of course you are. Well, knowing this also, the bigger worry is the playoffs. Everybody knows that. It's making a deep run. But you realize that personal markers also, whatever your driving point is as a pitcher, if it's to win 20 games or 200 strikeouts or 40 home runs, those are all going to help us get to the playoffs, and it's going to help us make a push. So you hope that everybody reaches their individual goals.
Ozuna pops it up left side and out of play. You watch a player intently, and a pitcher and a fielder can tell when guys are in rhythms. You see mannerisms. For instance, Jose Martinez, I noticed the other day, his body language and just jumping around a little bit. You can see he was not pulling off pitches, and he was close.
Yep.
Put it in perspective, the year that Carpenter's had, he's had 1 more home run than Giancarlo Stanton.
That's crazy.
It is.
Well, also take into account the ballpark that Stanton plays in as opposed to this place.
No doubt. I think to Luke Voigt's credit, watching a game he was playing the other night, his swing is designed in ways, because he can hit the ball for power everywhere, but going the other way, he's going to get some of those home runs.
He's the king of the city over there right now too.
Good for him.
Yep.
Luke now with the 11 home runs for the Yankees, and a team that has got a bunch of guys hitting a bunch of home runs. You want to call this one?
I best not.
I didn't feel it either. I was going to let you stick out there on a limb.
I appreciate you teeing it up for me.
So 2 outs, and Miles Michaelis, hey, no big deal. Got the sunglasses on. It's been a good day here at the ballpark. Next to him, Adam Wainwright. I think we can put to rest whether or not Adam is back.
He's okay.
Yeah,
He's totally fine. And honestly, looking at the the line for him yesterday does no justice to the way that he threw the ball, and I think that Adam referenced it after the game, talking about that's the softest 4 runs he's given up. That is the truth. Couple of bloopers in there, but Adam has looked so good since coming back, and he is very easy to root for, easy to back, and you can tell not just from the fan base. Everybody loves Adam Wainwright, but man, his teammates just pull for him, and he does the same for all his guys.
I got to wonder with this late season run, and Adam even sitting up here said there were times this year, first time ever, I doubted myself if I would ever come back. And if you look at where he's releasing the ball, he has changed some things. Everything coming out of the same position.
Yep. He was dropping down for a while.
Yes.
He was trying to make things happen. He was trying to make up things on the mound to get guys out.
It hot to third, but the point being, I got to wonder what he's thinking about his future. I know you're in the present, but he's still getting people out. Thought it might happen. It did happen. Number 36 for Carpenter. It's another Cardinal debut. Giovanni Gallegos, acquired from the Yankees along with Chasen Shreve in the Luke Voigt deal. Interesting about him, he had a game-winning walk-off hit, not pitching, but a hit in a playoff game for Memphis after they had run out of position players, and it was only his second at bat as a pro.
No big deal.
Step in, do your job, move on.
Act like you've done it before. Yep, I'm sure that was exciting for him, getting the final out of the AAA championship and then finding out you're getting called back up to the big leagues. It's been a nice couple of weeks here for Giovanni Gallegos.
Really cool, some different ways that Stubby Clapp, he's had plenty of practice to tell guys are going to the big leagues. That's Pena now behind the plate for Giovanni Gallegos. Before they sprayed champagne, he said this guy's going to the big leagues.
So cool.
Awesome. How were you told?
I was told by getting called in my hotel room. We were on the road, and I got called. Danny Schaefer was a manager at AAA in Memphis that year in 2005, and he called me and said, hey, I just talked to the people down at the hotel restaurant, say you didn't pay your bill. You need to get down here right now. I'm like, well, I was down there. I paid it. He's like, get down here right now. I said, okay. I go down. I'm sitting there. I see Schaefer there. I knew I had paid the bill. And he's like, hey, they said you didn't pay the bill at all. Didn't pay for any of your stuff. I'm like, I'll take care of it again. I did pay it. I promise I would never do that. He's like, don't worry about it. You can afford it. So what do you mean? It's like you're going to the big leagues.
That's awesome.
I can afford it. Yes. And I still think it took, when I called my parents first thing, and I think it took them a few times of me saying it for it to actually register. I bet for them. And yeah, pretty special to get that call the first time. All the work, everything that puts in. You oftentimes think about the individual that's getting called up, but you know how many people.
Around him.
Yeah, man, it's special.
Mom, dad, sister, brothers, family members, neighbors, coaches. There's a strikeout for Gallegos. That's 95. He can throw it. Reminder that Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Ford, going further so you can. Mentioned that Molina out, so Francisco Pena takes over behind the plate. Adolis Garcia takes over in left field. Just take a look at what the Cardinals have on the field minus Matt Carpenter right now for a team that, if it ended today, is in postseason play. Pena behind the plate. Wisdom primarily at Memphis this year. Paul DeYoung, Memphis last year. Munoz made the club, sent to Memphis. Carpenter over at first base. Gallegos making his Cardinal debut. And then in the outfield, Adolis Garcia, Memphis. Bader, parts of Memphis.
Yep.
O'Neal, part-time in Memphis.
It takes a village.
Wow.
Got to credit the organization having these guys ready to be up here in these spots, and each one of the individuals you mentioned has had a moment here with the Cardinals. Some of them plenty of moments. Mike Schilt has used all of them, and they've stepped up.
I ask a lot of the players that played for Mike at AA and AAA, what was it like playing for him in the minor leagues? And they say it's the same now. Communication.
Yep.
Just open, honest. Do exactly where you stood with them.
It's all you can ask for as a player.
Yeah.
You just want to know. And oftentimes, honesty doesn't mean best friend all the time. Honesty is going to tell you the things that you need to hear also, not just what you want to hear, but knows how to motivate very well. And when guys can trust you, they'll run through a wall for you.
Boy, that's a great point. Sometimes it's not always the things you want to hear, but you have to hear.
Those are the ones that are the most impactful, honestly. Even when things are going well, like there's always something. There's always something that each one of us can get better at. That's in every walk of life. Like foul balls straight back. I mean, you can get better at not flinching. You know, like little stuff.
I will say this. You have been fairly impressive in that regard. We're veterans that have sat next to me, namely Rick Horton. And I mean, big times he just turns ghostly white. But then again, you show up that way.
Well, that's my shade. Yeah. That's
Sorry.
my brand. So you would never know if in fact I were petrified, mortified.
I wasn't going down that road, but it just happened.
Yeah, well, I get it. Halloween. It's approaching. I may go as a ghost if the whole Prince Charming thing falls through.
Here's Chris Shaw with 2 outs and strike 1. The Budweiser plays of the game. Harrison Bader hustling all the time. Winds up at second base on a bloop. And then his bunt, little small ball. Cardinals doing a lot of things right today. I've seen Ricky, though. I mean, he gets a little skittish with those foul balls.
I feel like maybe he's just trying to make a play. I know Ricky's a gamer.
I'm not saying he's not a gamer, Brad, but
he's not trying to make a play either.
Yeah. There's a base hit into right field. And many have heard how I saved Al's life in Milwaukee many years ago with a foul ball that came up in the booth. Al was underneath the table and I made a catch. No big deal, though, really.
No, obviously. Something you do all the time.
Sure.
Does he still owe you one, or?
I think we're good.
Okay, good.
We got to work with him the next 3 days, so I want to be nice. The shadows definitely a factor this late in the season, this late in the afternoon. Here's Hansen.
Kind of realized throughout the game today that saving is just kind of what you do. You've got Junior, your three-legged dog that you saved.
That's right, twice.
Saved Al.
Yep. Been very helpful for Ricky over the years.
Yeah, I hope I don't need it, but I feel safe around you.
What's wrong with you?
Don't know.
Nine to 2 our score. 2 outs, nothing in 2 to count. Up and in. Pretty good fastball. Has been hitting 95,
really
96.
He's been attacking as well.
Hit down the right field line and foul.
Well, the Cardinals have been winning a lot of series here recently and have had the opportunity to get a few more sweeps and have dropped that third game. One strike away from finishing this one off.
He got him, and the Cardinals have a sweep. No, they don't. It's a foul ball. So he's still alive.
Jose Martinez will wait patiently for the next one, but he's ready.
We'll do it again. And the 1-2 pitch to Allen Hansen inside. The 2-2 in the air. Shallow left. Adolis Garcia with the catch, and that's a sweep over the Giants. The Cardinals' first sweep over San Francisco since 1995. And for St. Louis, they're now 87-69.
Cardinals take care of business today. Miles Michaelis was fantastic. Saw some clutch hitting. Saw a big-time home run and a nice call by you, Danny Mac. Very nice.
Little luck, huh?
It happens.
It happens. I'll take it. Cardinals will take this sweep. Milwaukee in town tomorrow. Post-game show next.